Hey guys, Desolator Magic here. Well, hell, I didn't think I'd see you here. That's surprising. Where you been? How's it going? How's the wife and kids doing? Anyway, we can catch up later. Cutting right to the point. No, that's not clickbait. They are getting rid of the vault. It's not even a rumor. They're going to do this between January and March of 2019. So let's read the entire announcement, and I'd say link in the description, but we all know I'm going to forget until somebody tells me to, so it's probably not there. This is posted on the MTG forums by Yargle, Glutton of Urborg. I mean, you could call him Chris, but that's not what they called him in the storyline, so I'm going with Yargle. So Yargle posted the goal. When playing MTG Arena, whether it's deck building, competing in events to earn in-game rewards, or checking out the newest set release, we created certain goals for ourselves. 1, we wanted players to be excited about opening packs. That'll never not be the case. I mean, come on. 2, we want to give players the opportunity to collect lots of different cards. That is nice. Yeah, and see, they're going to allude to why he said that specifically later. Number 3, we want players to feel comfortable redeeming wild cards to try out new decks or fill out their collection. That is never going to happen. I can't imagine how they would possibly do that. Every time I burn a wild card on just a stupid little dual land, I think, oh, that's right, I needed to search for Azcanta. Oh, that's right, I needed this and this and this. I've got a list of about 40 to 50 rares that I need. Oh, but Des, why don't you just give them some money? Because they're wizards. Okay, that's why. So he continues on with, and yes, when it comes to accomplishing these goals that locks it on in the room, is that you can still receive cards that you already have a complete playset of, also known as the 5th card. They even capitalized it. Like, they're taking these titles seriously. With this post, we wanted to give you all an update on our current progress and to let you know it's not something we're ignoring or plan to never solve. So dramatic, what a mysterious way to end it. Just kidding, they didn't end it. They're actually giving specifics. So they say specifically, what are we trying to solve? As the game evolved through the closed beta and the open beta, we believe we've hit a good place for players new to MTG Arena. This color, this orange text on the gray background. I seriously cannot read this. I'm just going to highlight it so it's a different color. The wildcard tracker allows us to give a steady, predictable path to wildcards for players to expand their collection without the burden of needing to destroy cards in the process. The system also allows us to give out a fairly large number of cards, including rares and mythic rares, as part of our new player experience, through individual card rewards, ICRs, and during special events like TwitchCon and sponsored streams. Hey, think if I sponsored one of their streams and just said, here's $5,000, just dump on SJWs the entire time, do you think they'd do it? However, as many of you are aware, regardless of I'm just going to read it the way they put it. As many of you are aware, regardless of how you decide to grow your collection, you eventually start obtaining 5+ copies of a card. You know, both 5 and 5+ is actually impossible, as the card is never registered because you already have 4. It just vaporizes. It turns into its equivalent points to open the vault. So not technically true, but anyway, while these cards do contribute to your vault progress, the system feels slow compared to the initial rate of acquisition. You don't say. It takes, I think, 52 to 110 boosters to open the vault on average or something. It's insane. It is a completely insane amount of time. Considering you get, one mythic wild card out of it and like 2 or 3 rares or something, it's a complete waste of time. And remember, they did have to slow it down since its initial inception. In fact, he even says, the system feels slow compared to the initial rate of acquisition, and yes, this is by design, because it used to be open 1 booster, get like 3.3% of the vault open, so you open like 33, 34 packs, and ta-da, the vault's open. Now it's way higher, and I'll let him explain, because he explains better than I do. If we were to set the vault progression rate to something that feels good, it leads to scenarios where you're able to game the system by only opening packs from sets that the players, I guess that's the they, have completed, which is unsustainable and unhealthy for the game in the long term. I have noticed this. They are completely correct about this. I found myself saying, okay, the starter decks and all this crap, between all the cards I have, I literally just need a bunch of commons and uncommons from Ixalan and Dominaria. Well, and the giant supplemental set, M19, of course you need cards from that. But every time that I open a pack from that, I'm like, well, I just got 0 vault progress whatsoever because I didn't open any 5th copies of cards. And that really pisses me off because I've been opening quite a few Dominaria M19 and Ixalan packs and just trying to get dual lands and just commons and uncommons that I need, just basic vampires and explorer cards and stuff. and it just killed my vault progress. Absolutely destroyed it. So the only way to really play it is to just say, okay, what are they giving out now? Cool, Guilds of Ravnica, I'm going to open that over and over and over and over and over. All my prize packs are going to be that. Every pack I buy is going to be that. And eventually you're just going to have just about every card in Guilds of Ravnica. And then every time you open it, you get a huge amount of vault progress. Or you could just open whatever you want and hope that you pull what you need and get, more commons and uncommons naturally than with wild cards, and then just ignore the vault. And since some people were doing that, they're just removing it. So they go on to say, to summarize, acquiring 5 or more copies of a card falls short of our goals, partially because we've front-loaded so much that the vault progression feels undervalued compared to opening a card that isn't a 4x collected yet. That is completely true. This leads to unfun situations, such as settling for 3 copies of a card in your deck when you'd rather have a playset because it still feels better than getting a 5th copy of a card the next time you open a pack. Not really sure what they're getting at there, but I'm sure it would make sense if I read it twice, but ain't nobody got time for that. Then number 2, reluctance to redeem wild cards to complete a playset of cards because you might just pull it because you're going to keep opening that set. Yeah, I added that last bit for context, but yeah, that's how it works, and that is quite aggravating. If I know that the next 50 boosters I open are going to be Guilds of Ravnica, I really don't want to redeem something for an uncommon from Guilds of Ravnica. That's just stupid. So, number 2, subsection 2, section A, this is like a damn bibliography. Card acquisition in MTG Arena comes through a variety of means. Oh, a wide variety of means, pardon me. You have pack opening, individual card rewards, deck grants, which, if you forgot, they give you free decks for playing every couple days, or they did, codes, and limited events. This leads to a complicated web of edge cases that need to be solved, both on the back end and with the client UI. We also have the added complication of what happens when you reach completion of a set, and within a set completion of each tier of rarity. I might own every common in Guilds of Ravnica right now and not know it. They're not wrong. Beyond that, the final complication of what happens when you have completed your collection. Open a pack, vaporize all the cards, and open the vault sooner. I don't know what they mean. What do you do then? That's what you do then. Or open a different set. How about that? Why is this a mystery to them? So number 3, we need to simulate the future of any of the changes we want to make to ensure we haven't fundamentally broken the game's economy in a way that will only manifest months or years down the line. So they're running simulations, which they shouldn't have to do. They should just be able to do it in one equation. I mean, because it's probability, but on the large scale, every player in the entire community, it's pretty damn obvious. It's just, what's the average expected amount of packs that somebody would have to open to get this? What if they do this? What if they do that? Okay, equation, equation, equation. They don't need to sit there and play test it for a week. That's a complete waste of time because I have a long history with mathematics, and I kind of specialize in it, and I have a degree in software design too. Run simulations, not real-world tests. Everybody knows that. Unless it's like a physics engine, you got to just try to clip through a wall. You just, what'll be the result of this? Oh, here, math, done. Whatever, they're just wasting time. So... let's see, as easy as it may sound to just make a snap call and make changes quickly, we truly want MTG Arena to be around for many years to come, and stewarding the game is an important part of that change. Wow, I wish every software company gave half that much effort into their product. Fallout 76 is just so you can delete the platform under somebody and they drop to their death and then submit a duel thing and shoot them in the head and then you kill them. Oh well, publish it. Tie the run speed to the frame rate, sure, fine. Nobody will figure it out. Nobody will change your frame rate. Just publish it. We're Bethesda. They'll give us money. I don't know if you've seen the 2.3 out of 10 rating. Nobody's giving them money. The game itself is going to lose them about $100 million, and they're probably going to lose about $1 billion in stock value, so that'll be fun. So the next section is the top contender. To affirm what we talked about back in September, a smarter system that provides what we have dubbed duplicate protection is still our top contender, and the current design space we're working with. I don't know what that fragmented statement at the end of the sentence was supposed to mean, but let's move on. How do we make sure you are excited about opening packs? I don't know, put candy in them? Why are you asking me? Receive lots of different cards and redeem wild cards with impunity. Nobody will ever do that unless they have limitless amounts. Trust me. Make it so when you open packs or earn cards, you only receive cards that you have fewer than 4 copies of. A simple statement that has significant complexity to it. No, your probability of pulling what you need would go up semi-exponentially. As you narrow down the list of cards you don't have, your probability would go up by more than a factor than it went up earlier on. It's simple math. It is painfully simple math. There is literally zero complexity to it other than make sure you don't cause a CPU spike on the servers by just randomly generating it instead of making the pool ahead of time and then making it regenerate a new number every time that there's a repeat. I could code this in about 5 minutes. Call me up, guys. I've done harder modules in software than that. So they say, yeah, they're currently working a system that does it. So basically, every time you open a pack, if you would have gotten a fourth or a fifth copy of a card that you already have, they'll either remove it and replace it with a different one, or if they're smart, they'll just make a pool of cards you haven't opened yet and put them in the booster. That would be really nice. I mean, think about it. Like, you would finish your collection so much faster, and if you're like, well, half the cards I need are from Guilds of Ravnica and half are from M19, you could legitimately open up both boosters and feel like you're making some progress, especially when you're like so close that logically you probably have 3 to 4 of every card you need from Guilds of Ravnica that you could just go to M19 and just start opening them and be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's going to start wide open, which is cool because you probably need a ton of the cards in it. And then as you open more and more and more, it'll get narrower and narrower. And if you're still waiting on one card, its probability of showing up will increase because the pool is shrinking. The only thing that's complicated about that is, are they making it too easy to open a small number of packs and then not give them enough money? Will this have a giant impact on income? Because that's complicated. The math behind that and like psychology and buying patterns, that's a whole thing. Just implementing it in the code from a practical sense, 1 day plus testing? Maybe? But are there some issues to this? Well, the next section is called the roadblocks. Okay, so we have the goals we want to accomplish, we have the problem space, and we have a system that will help us reach these goals. So why haven't we implemented it yet? What's the holdup? Why is it taking so long? No, seriously, they're writing this. I'm not adding this. I added a lot to this, but they wrote that. And the honest answer is, even though we feel this is the best solution to accomplish the goals we've set, it also happens to be a complex solution that touches on a lot of different systems. Really? Make a new subroutine that hits the database and queries it for a list of cards that don't already have 4 copies. Once you get the report, use that data set to create an array, generate a random number from it, match it to an index, and draw that card. Done. You're welcome. I mean, it's literally not hard at all. You can even call the subroutine from multiple different locations. So it's, oh, I got 1 card from an event, but then I got 1 from a booster. Cool, call the same damn sub. Or I guess function, depending upon the language. I mean, yeah, the database code and okay, queries like that, you know, based on the complexity of their, what do you call it? Like the library of card ownership per user would be pretty intense. But upgrade the hardware and then do it anyway. I mean, it's not that complicated. So blah, 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 finite number of cards available in each rarity. And what if you max out a rarity but not another? How would you open the booster? Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? And yes, figuring out how we want to address every possible scenario we've identified and developing and implementing those solutions into that system is taking longer than we anticipated. Let me just point that out. If you've collected every common, but not every uncommon, and then you open a booster pack, what exactly is it supposed to do? Oh no, let's have a board meeting and test it for 2 weeks. Or open the pack anyway and give people 1 gold for every repeated common and then vaporize it on screen in a cool animation, and 3 gold coins for every uncommon. And then let them keep opening it to get the rare if they really want. Wow, that was hard. A coin refund because you literally would get no value because you already have the commons, like 4 of every common. So, while I said back in the open beta launch that October was going to be stabilizing the game and the first feature would be playing against a friend, the overall time it's taken is still on us. What does that mean? I don't think that's a phrase in the English language. This is so unusually written. Well, they did say that November 15th is when they're rolling out the Friends feature, so he damn well better not be telling me that they were working on this instead. I mean, they're both important, but literally last week they said November 15th. It's coming. I want to play against Perp, damn it, and film it. So, when we changed the vault system and added the wildcard tracker, which, by the way, it doesn't track wildcards. That's not. It's the wildcard wheel giveaway thing, the progressive wildcard thingy. Why is it called a tracker? It does not track a damn thing. Anyway, we indicated that we planned on having a solution soon rather than later. I'm sorry, the actual phrase is sooner rather than later. Beep beep boop, I use human idioms just like you humans. Seriously, who wrote this? Anyway, and it turns out it is not as soon as we had initially thought, hoped for, or wanted. Welcome to software development. And for that, we are sorry. Yeah, whatever. Up until today, we didn't really know that you were actually serious about doing this, so whatever. I like the spinny wheel, and I've personally given up on the vault, so Whatever. So the next section is called The Timeline, and it simply states, realistically, we are still looking for a few more months. Our current estimate for duplicate protection, like the whole system rollout publicly, is sometime in Q1 of 2019. See, I told you, I totally ruined this entire video in the first 5 minutes. It's almost like I read this ahead of time. The frequently asked questions. Should I wait to open my vault until this issue is resolved? They literally said they're getting rid of the vaults, so my guess would be no, but let's see what they say. We still plan on allowing players with completed vaults to open them once changes go live. Oh, that's interesting. They said completed vaults, at least for a time. I mean, yeah, I'd put a limit on it, but the expectation is still that the vault will go away and that its contents will not change. If you don't have a completed vault, it won't be lost, and we're working on what it will provide. Give me like 3 aces of a wild card. How about that? Honestly, they'll probably just pretend the vault is 1,000 coins, and if you're like 78% through it, they'll give you 780 coins. That's my thought. That or like a partial wild card reward. I don't know. I mean, you don't need to wait to open it, and you don't need to scramble to open it either. So that's cool, because it probably will be about 2 more months before I open it, so that'll be good timing. What happens when I complete my collection? This is one of the hardest questions to answer. Stop buying boosters. It's just like paper. It's not that damn hard. Stop buying boosters, you jackass. Save your coins for the next release. Like, how hard of a question is that? When they go to hit buy booster, tell them you already own all the cards in this set, idiot. Please save your gems and coins for the next release. Duh. Put that one up on the screen. Anyway, he says, as duplicate protection does speed up the rate at which you can complete a set, that's true, or complete your collection of all cards available in the game. Wouldn't that be a nightmare scenario? There's no way to do that without giving them money. Trust me, you're not going to win enough coins. So it just means, cool, you paid us enough, stop paying us, which they're acting like is not something they want to happen. Imagine that. One of the nice parts about the vault, let me go back to that. They're going to have cosmetics in the game. They're going to have card sleeves and something called pets. So if you got some spare coinage, spend it on that, not packs. It's not hard. Anyway, one of the nice parts about the vault is it does allow progress past completion at the moment and the acceleration towards specified decks. But in the new system, competition may be a stopping point, I don't know what that means, until the next set comes live. I have no idea what that entire sentence meant. But in the new system, competition may be a stopping point until the next set comes live. So I guess what he meant to say was, stop buying boosters until the next set comes out? Oh, this writing, it's so bad. So much of this will depend on how our simulations resolve. Wow, if you're dumb enough to waste your time running a simulation, then you need to go back to math class, because probability, when you guarantee 0 repeats, it doesn't even come into play. The amount of packs you need to open to get one of every card in the set will be a number, period. I mean, plus or minus wildcard redemptions. Hell, I'd run the numbers right now if I gave a crap. Don't you get like 8 commons per pack and there's 110 unique commons and you need 4 of each, then you just multiply it, you get 440 and then you divide it by 8? Anyway, the next question was, where is duplicate protection on the MTG Arena dev team's priority list? High, very high, extremely high. We are very aware that this is the issue with MTG Arena right now. No, slow players, people who timeout games just Teferi, just him in general. Mirror matches because of deck power level tracking. And the ridiculously malfunctional card randomizer, aka shuffling algorithm, that just takes the same card and groups it up constantly. Don't believe anybody on the internet telling you that it's not broken and that it's true random. It absolutely is not. It absolutely has issues. People have so many things occurring that are above a 1 in 10,000 probability of happening. It's astonishing. I just got a 0 card opening hand, okay? You know how there's a system in free play where it chooses 2 starting hands at random, and then chooses the best one based almost exclusively on mana base and partially on mana curve. In order to get a 0 land hand, you have to get one and then get another one simultaneously in a sample size of 2. Let me real quick run the probability on that in a 21 land deck. 0.158% of the time that should happen. So roughly, you should see something that anomalous in 1 in every 630 games. Well, lucky me, I just won the land lottery. And those are simultaneous and codependent, not sequential and independent, so it's not the gambler's fallacy. Stop saying it is. I'm saying that's the probability of both of the 2 opening hands being that, not one or the other. Some of y'all need to go back to math class for real. So yeah, this shuffler's a piece of garbage, okay? I already stated what the probability of drawing 9 lands in a row are, and I did that. It's roughly 1 in 30,000, 1 in 50,000, something like that. Yeah, that shouldn't happen every day, and 10 other people said it happened. It's broken, it's not random, we have proof, that's the end of it. I don't care what those idiots who wrote that tracker say. They're wrong, and I already know they're interpreting the data wrong. That or they're just outright lying to cover for Wizards, one of the two. So anyway, to go back to what they say, they claim that this vault progression being too slow, 5th cards being worthless, open the same thing problem is the number one problem, which is utterly ridiculous. They say it's the issue with MTG Arena right now, especially once Direct Challenge goes live on Thursday the 15th. Okay, thought you just said a statement indicating that you weren't done with that yet either, but okay. Good luck with that. The next header, so why is Rank Matters coming before a smart loot system? What the hell is Rank Matters and what the hell are you talking about? I love how they just assume that I've read every statement that they've ever made in the history of the forums. This is literally the first one I've ever read. Oh no, the second one. So Rank Matters is a system we're already ready to go on and is important to many of our players, and we're not going to intentionally delay other features or improvements while we work on a duplicate protection system. That makes sense. This doesn't mean we're not working on duplicate protection. It just means that there are members of the MTG Arena development who are working on other things because that's what they're good at. Apparently none of y'all are good at writing in the English language. I also used to be an editor for a company bigger than Wizards of the Coast. I was also one of their top writers. And that allows me to be picky as hell. I love this last heading, but you should get more people to work on the 5th card problem. Okay, first of all, you could write the solution in a week if your programmers didn't suck. Okay, let's just throw that out there. This is coming from a verified professional software engineer. Anyway, let's see what he says. You are absolutely correct. There is a reason we have over a dozen positions the MTG Arena team is hiring for. Oh my god, considering this game could be made by about 5 people, not counting like art asset testing and implementation. Wow. A dozen would be the whole team. I'm starting to think there's just one guy working on Arena. Anyway, they need technical product managers. That sounds like some bullshit thing where they just sit in a desk and tell people what to do. Software developers, clearly they need that if they think it's going to take like a month to make this 5th card system. And data engineers, the guys who will write the query. We had to write queries like that during a 45-minute test in college, let alone during a day of work. Like, select all the people who have this parameter in this age in this database with this name, but don't do duplicates and present it in this way, but check for this. And, like, we had like 5 minutes to complete the query. Make a list of all the cards the person doesn't own, and then assign an index to them. Done. Wow, these people suck at their jobs. Oh, and then step 2, make sure the server doesn't melt when you do it. Whatever. So blah, 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 come apply for a job, blah, 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 don't work here if you're white. So let's see. Oh, I guess that wasn't the last header. The last one is, why not make changes to the current wildcard vault system in the meantime? That's just a complete waste of development time. I can answer that right now. Outside of duplicate protection, many other solutions lead to degenerate scenarios, such as the best value being buying packs from sets you already have collected. Wait. But that's what it is right now, so how would they be saying that they might accidentally do that? That is the degenerate scenario. Anyway, we believe we're past being able to address this with tweaks, which is why we're pushing a complete, like, different system. So, yeah, that makes sense. You don't waste time with band-aids unless your product doesn't function at a basic level. So once they get their heads out of their asses, write a simple basic query and make sure the database server is fast enough, maybe put 64 gigs of RAM and some SSDs in it and call it a day. You know, they'll just be able to return the results of, oh, what haven't they opened yet, and then use that pool as your own personal pool. And every single time you open a pack, it'll open from that, and then they just got to make a decision on what to do if you already have all the commons but not the rares. It's really quite simple. So Q1 2019 is apparently when they're going to get that done. And honestly, I'm looking forward to it. I think the vault sucks. It does very heavily benefit people to keep opening the same set over and over and over. It'll give you a minuscule amount of additional wildcards from the vault, but in the meantime, you'll get none of the commons or uncommons from other sets. And then if you open packs from other sets, you get no vault progress. So it's pretty crap right now. I can see why they would want to change it. That makes complete sense to me. Their timetable? Oh, hell no. I mean, yeah, you got to write a little AI thing to warn people ahead of time about if they open a pack, oh, you already have all the cards from this, or prevent them from doing it, or whatever. Then that's all part of like kind of the e-commerce system. It's like a high security, like, let's not let them duplicate items system. There's checks and balances. It's still not that hard. They're just bad programmers, and it's just probably spaghetti code and a bunch of third-party drop-in crap that nobody knows how it works. So anyway, I'm all for this. I don't see a downside and I don't see a better solution, so sure. It'll be interesting to see how they implement it, and I'm watching for more updates in the future. So what do you guys think? Is it a cool idea? The correct answer is yes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video, which is probably not going to be a live stream because it's currently broken for all of North America and possibly worldwide on YouTube. Oh my God, get your shit together, YouTube.